So fine, coming to the now comments. Comments we have seen earlier also, the same thing I'm telling again. It's a simple thing. Earlier we discussed, the same thing I want to conclude. So generally, there are two types of language, as I told you, interpreter-based language and compile-based language. Python is an interpreter-based language, so everything will execute line by line. So we don't have a multi-line comment operator. We have only single line comment operator. If you have multiple lines to comment, you need to write slash to each of the line. If you feel like writing every line slash is difficult, you can use the short key. Most of the interpreters and IDEs and editors have the same short key, control slash, both for commenting and uncommenting anything. And also there is a difference between doc strings and comments. Whatever you write within the doc strings will be coming as a print afterwards. We can print them in the document. Generally, when you give a client document, so there are two documents we give. One is a technical document. One is architectural diagrams document. So technical means like coding level document. When you're giving, all these doc strings will be going there. So that's why be careful not to write passwords or anything there. So we should be very careful. And see, so if you want anything, we should see like this. Yeah, simple example to show is like this. If I make a print statement, it will print. But if you place a hash before it, you can see the color itself it is showing you to understand. So anything after that will not be printed. You see, I have written like 2 comment lines. So these will be just ignored by the interpreter. And if the same hash character is present within the print statement, but here it is within the quotes, right? So that's why it will not treat it like a operator, comment operator, but just like an ordinary character. Hope it's clear for everyone. Okay.
So the comment that we put in a strings, right?
Pardon?
Line number 16.
16, yes.
Line number 16.
15.
16, the below one.
Okay.
Okay, so does that single line comment?
No. See, this is not a comment. That's what I'm trying to say in the starting also. Triple quotes, triple double quotes, and triple double quotes. Within that, whatever you write, that is called as a doc string for creating a document.
Okay.
So these lines will be processed, but you will not see them here. Means it will go to the document. We can create a document. It is for like documentation purpose.
Okay.
This also will be, don't think like this won't be processed. That's what the point. Why I'm telling is that if you write if you write a password somewhere in a comment, so no one knows. But if you write a same password here, so then it will go to the document, like everyone can see them. So that's why my intention is not to say like write a password in the comments, but the point I'm trying to say is different. Hope you can understand.
Yeah.
So if you write a same comment at the end, you see the line is processed a half, and from there it will be there. What if I place the same hash? So here, because this won't have enough other brace, right? Though you have written a brace, it thought like it don't have other brace, and it will throw a syntax error. So if I remove that hash, you see, it will be processed. Hope it's clear. Now, similarly, if I have like multiple hashes or anything I can do. So whatever within quotes, within the comment operator, comment line, you can write any character, anything. It will just be ignored. That's it. And as I told you, so these doc strings are used for a purpose. Some people try to use like a multi-line comment, but it is not recommended. So if you want to comment any lines, use like you select what are the lines you want to comment. You do control slash. You see it commented. Again, if you want to uncomment, control slash. What are the lines you want to comment? Select them, control slash, either for commenting or uncommenting, the same thing. So hope now it will be easy for you, right? If you want to work also. So coming to the last case about the keywords, you now saw some kind of functions and comments also you saw. Now I'm telling that keywords. Keyword means what? Any word which has some meaning in that language. So if I say like, speak or read or comment, so these are all English words that you can understand. If I say do Uday, means there is no meaning, right, in English for Uday. So it means like that is a identifier. Now you understand one point now. Generally in jargon, we call it variables. So variables were like two types. One is a keyword or an identifier. Keyword means any variable that is defined in the language. Whereas identifier means the user defined names. Uday is a user defined name. Whereas speaking, eating, all these things are English words, right? Like that, you can think. So the simple example I told is that the other day I showed you the hello world. So here you can understand, right? I have written the same function twice, hello world and this one. And what you can understand here, when I'm writing the function in another way, did you see that define was not changed to Telugu? Only this was changed to Telugu. These are all variables changed to Telugu. But like these were not changed, right? Those are called as identifiers, sorry, keywords. So the words which have definition in that language. That's a point. Hope it's clear now. Now going to this case of what are the list of keywords we have and how do you create an identifier? That's one thing you need to understand. If you want to have the list of identifiers, so of course we can write somewhere and do it. So every time for teaching a new person, it would be difficult, right? Hey, check in the list, what are is not there, don't use it. If I say like there are these 35 are there keywords, so either you need to verify or you need to remember, so in some way or the other. So Python people thought of it and created a module. Basically in Python, everything is treated as a module. Module means a library or a package, you can think like that. If you want to load anything, you need to just type called as import that module name. So how many modules are there? The moment you install Python, some set of modules will come by default. The others you can install. I will tell about installation afterwards, but you see here. So if you just want to see the list of keywords, so this is how you do Python J identifier. So if you see the list of keywords means it will give all the things that were defined. So what are the things I have written here, right? The 35. So all the 35 you can see here. In fact, you can write like a comment and we can store them so that you can just walk through whenever you have time. So you can see like you can write multiple lines like this. You can within the comments you do. So this is how you make comments, right? For your purpose, you are writing some comments for you to understand. Now you understood, sir, everything is coming in quotes, right? Because when printing to say for you, it is coming like that. But when you're writing also, exact case you need to write. So simple example for you to understand is a print, like a hello, like a true. Capital TRUE is exactly defined. So if I print it, it knows what is it, and it is saying it is a true. Okay. And similarly, if I say none is there. None is a keyword, right? So what are is defined in top, it is just using it. So if I do the same thing with a true, you see what will happen if I do with a separate thing. Did you observe the slight difference? Instead of capital T, I'm using a small t. If I use that, it will throw in error. It is saying, so it is not a keyword, it is an identifier. It is saying, do you mean this thing? So fine. So it is not a keyword, right? It is an identifier. Sir, why I am unable to use it? First, you need to define identifier before using it. So the same thing, if I say like, same true, of course, it's not recommended to do. If I do like small true is equal to something. Now, if I print like same true, it will print. So hope you understood, right? What is the difference between this and that? So this is an identifier. You need to define it. So, and you can use it. Similarly, if I have a true, which is a built-in thing, right? For that, can I assign the value like this? TRUE. If I'm trying to do the same statement, don't you see that it is throwing an error? Hey, cannot assign to true because it's a identifier, right? Sorry, it's a keyword. You cannot do to a keyword. Hope it's clear, everyone. And if you want to check the same thing, maybe like if you want to create one more variable, you can do something like this. My value is equal to something I wrote in quotes. If I execute, my value got it. Okay, so whatever variables you are doing, if you want to check also that whether it is a identifier or not, so we can use something called as keyword dot is keyword. But of course, it is just for learning. So you will not use even afterwards, because daily if you are using, you will remember them. So if the same true, if I give small tru, if I give, and my value if I give, you see, it will tell the first one is a keyword, but other two are not keywords. That's what it says. But this much validation is not even needed for you over a period of time. Just for like beginning learning, that's it. Okay, sir, good. We understood now that keywords cannot be used as an identifier. Then how do I create my own identifier? So very simple. If you want to create an identifier, means your own user-defined variable, there is one simple rule you need to follow. Three rules are there we need to follow. What are the three rules? Keyword should not be used as an identifier. That's what we just now understood. And the first name value character should be either capital A to Z or small a to Z or an underscore. From second onwards, you can add even numbers also. So now we understood. So rule number one means just now I told you. So don't use any built-in one. So we have seen, right? When using a true, it will throw an error. So instead of that, if you do true and assign something, it will take. But pip8 says that means Python enhancement proposal 8. What it does, coding style guide, right? Best practices. Say that it's not a recommended way because so it is trying to mimic the keywords, right? If you really want to write true, instead of true, you write true value or something else. Instead of a none, you write none result or something. Modify it. So don't mimic exactly like that. And similarly, coming to the rule 2 and 3, what is the rule 2 and 3 saying? So first number should be capital A to Z or small a to Z or an underscore. You see now what will happen? First number is first character is a small character, right? And others are like alphabets only. It works. First character is an alphabet, and so second onwards we can have even underscore also. So it is also fine. It is also fine. These are all following, right? The rules, whatever we have given. And similarly, if you go, pip8 says that, not only pip8, if you go for any language, they say the same. Whenever you have any constant variables, it is a best practice to represent with capital letters. So then anyone who is coming can understand that, it's a constant. Pi is a constant, doesn't means 12, which is a constant. Sir, what if I don't do? It will not happen. Nothing will happen, So it is like a best practice. What our pip8 is saying is these are all best practices. If you follow, it will be good. When you're going on a bike, if you wear helmet or not, you can go on bike. But it's a best practice to wear a helmet, right? In the same fashion. Similarly, based upon these things, these are invalid. We cannot start a variable with a dollar symbol, or we cannot have a hyphen in middle. We cannot have white space in middle, or we cannot start any variable with a number. All these things will be failing. Whereas you can start any variable with an underscore also, right? As per the thing what I told, the first character can be any alphabet or even underscore also. So based upon that, if I do, I can start a variable with an underscore also. 1, 2, 3, 4, any number of underscores also I can start. Or within also it can have an underscores. But don't use the underscore in the starting. Instead, use somewhere in the middle. It's up to you. Why? Because when you're going for the object-oriented programming, means O, you will learn about a concept called as name mangling. Name mangling means in the OOPS, there will be something called as public, private, and protected variables. To represent that, we use these underscores. So as you are not that much comfortable at this moment, just avoid them. So when you are going to OOPS, you'll understand then you decide whether you want to really use 1 underscore or 2 underscores or anything. But at the same time, you understood one more thing. If some variable is starting with 2 underscores and ending with 2 underscores, that has some meaning in Python. So not everything has a meaning, but some were like defined like that. Say like if I define underscore underscore name underscore underscore or underscore underscore file underscore underscore. So it will print, see, it has some meaning. That's why it will print. You see, when I ask underscore underscore name underscore, it is printing underscore underscore main. What is it? What is its meaning? I will tell you afterwards. But as of now, you see. And if I say underscore underscore file, did you see that it is giving the entire file name? Starting from the starting D drive onwards, the entire path it is giving. Means these are all information about the metadata about the file. Sir, what if I want to do like, underscore underscore, say like, Shruti underscore underscore. Can I do like this, sir? No, it will throw an error. It is saying like underscore underscore Shruti is not defined. Means not everything will be defined, right? So you understood there is some kind of things here around this underscore starting. So don't use that, but others you can use. Hope it's clear. Now the last point in the general programming is about the casing. What is that casing that we need to use? That I will tell. Generally, in any programming, there will be two types of casings most commonly used. One is like, there is a good article also to help it. I just wrote it. It's an IEEE article, which will help you understand why they have taken this particular step. What is the step they have taken? What is that we want to learn? First point you need to understand is Python is a case sensitive language. So you need to understand this. Case sensitive language means what? If you go for general Microsoft languages, let's say Bash script or anything, those are all case insensitive. But generally Bash script, Python, Perl, so Ruby, all these things are like case sensitive. What do you mean by case sensitive? If I define a variable called as animal is equal to dog, and if I print, hey, so animal is equal to means it will get dog. But if the same variable, if I just do like, instead of just animal, in the starting I write like capital A, that's it. Same name, right? Exact ditto, but still it won't print. Because it is thinking, hey, do you think like it is not defined? Hope you now understand what do you mean by case sensitivity. Even one line change can make a lot of difference. And similarly, if I define, now we see here, all capitals, if I print pig, when I'm asking for animal in all capitals, it will exactly give the same thing. If I give one line capital as camel, and if I'm printing, exactly the same will come. So with the same names, with slight one character differences, you define three variables. Of course, it's not a good way of doing, because you only will get confused. But now you understood what is case sensitivity, right? Now, after this case sensitivity, the next one is casing. There is a big war so between developers happens because of this. But let me tell you very simple. Variables casings are of two types. The first one is called as snake case or underscore case. When you're defining any variable, you just will not say like number or like name or A, B, C, D like that. You don't do. You will give a meaningful name such that when you're reading the program also you'll understand. When you're trying to giving a meaningful name to the variable, at times it will give more than one word. So when that is case, how we are using that? You see, student is there. It's a very simple thing. Employee salary. So employee salary, two words are there. If you want to use that, we need to join an underscore. Cost of mango, we need to have an underscore. Selling price of apples, output of thermal sensors, number of processors. Whatever the value maybe, it doesn't matter. The naming of the variable I'm telling. When you have more than one word, you are joining with an underscore, right? That is called as variable, snake casing or underscore casing. Like a snake, it is coming up and down, right? That's what it's called as snake casing or underscore casing. That's the most common number. And the other one is called as camel casing. If you have, remember, camel will have a back, right? So hump in the top. So like a wave, it will go up and down, right? So like that, these were different. You see here, employee name. Every word when you're joining the second word, the next word onwards, first character will be capital every time. Output of thermal sensors, number of current processes, like that. Hope you understood the differences between two cases. So generally, it doesn't matter if you write any way, also Python will process. But is it good, bad, or ugly? That's what the pipette tells. Pipette tells that don't use camel case for ordinary things. Use camel case only for the class names. But for any other things like variables, function names, method names, for everything, use underscore casing. That is what pipette says. So pipette says that. So now you can understand, right? Pipette says that class name should be camel casing, and any other identifier names should be like underscore casing. Any doubt till now? These may seem like very small and silly things, but when you go to real programming, so they will see whether you are really expertise in these things or not. That's where it will show you the programming ethics, we say. The last point in this last 2 points here is next thing about line continuation operator. There is a next one thing that you are saying about it. Line continuation operator. This is another new thing that you'll see. And there were 3 types of braces in Python. So we still now know about parentheses, right? There are other 2 braces called as square braces and flower braces. Each has its own importance. I will tell that. And also, pip8 tells one more thing called as any line should not have more than 79 characters. So means from the starting, if you calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that, so more than 79 characters should not be there in single line. Why they placed this rule? Because hope you remember 10 years back, there used to be CRT monitors, 5 years back also. CRT monitors were very small displays. So if you have a big code, it would be difficult for people to move left and right, right? That's how they made like that. But with modern editors and others, this 79 is still a very bad number. That's why many people say like 79 is not good. That's why many people will have exceptions added to this pip8. No one will follow max. But some people, if you want to follow also, we can follow align it. But for that, generally when you have a long line, what should we do? If it is going for multiple lines, you should write in next line, right? Then when you're writing in next line, what will happen? That's what I will tell you now. So if you write a small statement like this, say Python, so m so and so. It is some expression, it is happening, it will do bad. But if you have the same print statement, I don't know why it's taking most long today. If you have the same statement spanning like multiple lines, I am doing some computation, say, just for us to understand. So let's understand something I am doing, multiply by this, minus this. So whatnot, I can do many operations. So point is like, I want to tell is, it is going to multiple lines. When you have in multiple lines, in Python, it will process one line at a time, right? It is thinking this entire line is one, and the others, it is showing indentation error. It is thinking it is some kind of statement and is asking why you added unnecessary space. But like our intention is to treat the all as same, right? For that itself, there is an operator called as line continuation operator. For division, you place this slash. For line continuation, you place the other slash. Did you see the moment you place that other slash? So the red line has gone. So if I execute also, what it will process? It will tell that the error is at line 29 instead of 28. So if I do like this, you are telling to Python that generally Python will process one line at a time. You are telling to Python that at the end, hey, don't process this line alone. Take the next line also into it and do together. Take the next line also to it and do together. Like that you are telling every time. So this is called as line continuation operator. This is good, great, right? But what if, sir, we have the same thing statement, like very big, say like 10 lines or 20 lines are there. Do you want to go to each other line and do? That would be a very crazy thing, right? So going to each other line and doing. For 4 lines, it's fine. What if you have 10 or 20 lines? So then it would be very difficult for you. So to that piece, they introduced these braces. We can use the braces. These are called as parentheses. If I use parentheses, now it will work perfectly. So now tell me, will you use line continuation operator or parentheses? Obviously parentheses, right? Because this is very easy. But one line, if you want to do, line continuation operator is also there. As I told you, Python has 3 types of braces. People try to use the other braces also, but other braces have some importance. Please don't use it. So why we should not use it? No, just you should not follow me, right? When I'm telling something blindly. So if you try to use it, then what will happen? You see what will happen? If I do like square braces, you see what will happen? It will show the content in square braces. Means it is called as a list in Python. As of now, you still didn't learn what is a list, but just to be aware, it will not create the actual values. It will be something else. Similarly, if you use this brace, means flower brace is for 2 data types. As of now, it will treat it like a set. You don't know what is set also, but still you can understand that when you use these braces, it will show content differently instead of the actual result. Now you understood what is a line continuation operator, what all these things doing, everything. Hope it's clear.
Yes.
Okay. So the last point I want to touch base here is about the semicolon statements. So this is an operator which very seldom people use. I don't know whether many people know also this operator. There is something called a semicolon. You know, till now, comma, right? You used comma many times. When you are in a print statement, you used a comma. Multiple times you used, right? A comma. Comma is like most commonly used. When you want to separate two things, use a comma. That's a common thing. Python and so, it will print it. Now, what is this semicolon, sir? What is this semicolon used for? To understand that, so first let me write a small 4 statements. So I want to take 2 variables and I want to do addition and do something. Method 1, if I say, yeah, number 1 is equal to say 123, okay? Number 2 is equal to say 456. I have 2 numbers. Sum of values is equal to number 1 plus number 2. Say if I'm doing like this. Now, if I'm printing that statement, say sum of values is equal to say sum of values, right? It's a simple statement. You are taking 2 variables and you're trying to add and you're seeing the result. It works perfectly. So in the same thing, we can do in other way, mother way. So how we can do that? You can take all these lines and you can write a semicolon, and you can write a semicolon. So if you don't write a semicolon, it cannot understand. So it will treat all like a same statement and you won't get anything. But if you write like this, it will exactly work like that. Then you may ask me, sir, are you fool to write all the things in one line? We can write crazily in multiple lines, right? What is stopping us? So it is not there earlier. The main purpose of it is different. If I remember, I'm telling, right? Python was there in the earlier version also, in the initial version. So initial version of Python came for a purpose to serve. If you are aware of, like at the time, these awk scripts and the shell scripts, everything came at the time. They want to create a language which can do some basic things to do. Slowly, it's like a summer code of him. It was like improved this much. So if you want to work with this, generally in Python 1, how it used to work is like, if they want to run any command, there is nothing like a .py file, no file system, nothing, everything in Linux only. So they used to write like this, Python -c command. Till now, Python you are executing just interactive mode. If you just type, you will go to interactive mode. If you do like Python space a file name, that file name is a file is getting executed, right? So that is what happening till now. But Python also has -h if you do. Apart from this, there were multiple options. See -b, -b, -c, -e, like that, many options are there. But these are also big things, not for you at this moment, but slowly understand. So there are many things. So one such option is Python -c. What is this -c means? For a command to execute. You see, if I do the same hello world in quotes, observe, outside there were double quotes, that's why inside I gave single quotes. And similarly, if the same statement, what I wrote in the top, if I need to execute, I need to write in quotes. If I write like this, it will execute. But don't you think it would be it is very difficult, right? Writing everything semicolon, so fine. So that's why then they introduced this Python script version. Still, this feature is there, but you understand, no one will use it. But like I would recommend not to use even this symbol. So, but I'll be aware that. So this is one of them. This is all about the history of Python 1, how it evolved and all these things. So we will start with the new chapter and we can draw. So any doubts before going further? Okay. Okay, sure. So how do you create a new folder? So new folder means, so 02, maybe like, basic operations, I created a new folder. Oh, I need to create within it, right? So I will just drag it. So it is asking, do you want to go to yes? Okay, wherever you are highlighting, it will create folder like that only. So if I open this one, and within that, if I want to create, say 01, say arithmetic operations. And similarly, if I want to create 02, like string operations. Okay, so like that, I created two folders. So arithmetic operations also, operations like that. So two folders were created. Now going to the final stage before going there. So whatever we have learned today, we want to push the code, right? So I'm doing like git status. Git status means it is saying fatal, you need to go to the particular directory. So if I go to Python for data engineering in that folder, and if I say like git status, it will say like, hey, you are on Uday Prakash branch. So you have these two files were modified, and these are all the files which were newly added. Great. We want to add all these files. So we can do git add 0. If you type like, tab, it will try to give the files. That's the easiest way. So if I do like 00 demo, means like in demo folder, all the things will be added. So if I just do like this, did you see that it is doing? Now, if I ask git status, did you see all files were added? If you have like that, it will do. You can ask me, sir, we created just now a folder and we created a subfolders also, then why they are not coming? Any one empty folders will not come in Git. Until unless you have a file, it will not be coming. If you create like the first, say like, something like, so first.py, something. Now, if you do like git status, you see, the folder will come, right? Only one folder came like that. But still, so that is a thing for the next class. But you see here, you understood all these things, A first and so and so. Okay, what is that we have discussed today in terms of basic introduction operations, right? So first I added all these files. Now I need to commit -m. So introduction and syntax, basic syntax. So three things I did. first added a file, then committed it. So it was committed. So, and like git push, I earlier did a upstream push, or in general, it's a good practice to do git pull push origin, right, Prakash? So whatever I have, it will go to that branch. Generally, if you do git push also, if you do that set upstream, it will do by default. So now after doing a push, it is moving this code there. Hope it's clear. So now code is there. You can go walk through in that place. So any doubt now for any?
Okay.
Anyone once coming to this page, so go back. So once coming to this page, you can see the branches. You can go to the specific branch. Somewhere I am doing, so Uday Prakash branch or develop branch, right? So you can go to that branch specifically. And now, so if you just want to download and see, there is a last right side option called as download. So in the right side, you can download like an ordinary files and you can see what is there. No. So the entire branch, you click on it. Can you give me the control?
How to give the control?